Hi everyone, Chris here from IELTS Advantage with another success story. Today we have Aura, who is going to share her success with you guys. She recently got a band 8 overall. And Aura, can we start off by just you telling everyone a little bit about yourself, please?
Hello there. My name is Aura. I'm coming from Romania. I'm qualified as a pharmacist in my country, and I needed IELTS 7 overall to get registered as a pharmacist in the UK. Well, joining the course and learning about Chris's story, I've managed to get an 8 overall. And now I'm living in the UK. I'm looking forward to get registered as a pharmacist.
Excellent. And we were talking a little bit before this, and I was saying how we love working with pharmacists because we can get you that, that instant pay rise from a dispenser to a full pharmacist. So it's very satisfying for us to be able to help you. And thank you so much for agreeing to share your experience with everyone else so that other pharmacists and other people around the world can learn from you. So let's start off by going back a little bit and telling everyone about your IELTS journey. So when did you start preparing for the test? How many times did you not get the score that you needed, if any? What scores were you getting before you joined our course?
So first of all, I started the IELTS journey in sometimes 2018, and I think 2017 at the end. And back then I was in Romania, and we've planned to move into the UK. But just to work as a pharmacist in here, I need to get registered. Well, they wouldn't accept my registration if I didn't have the IELTS score at least 7 in each of the modules and 7 overall. So I started preparing with a teacher back home, and I thought I've been doing really well. First of all, I think it was like 6 to 7 months preparation, and then I've attempted. It was a mess. I got 6.5 in listening and speaking and 6 in writing and reading. Well, from then I said I will never ever attempt the IELTS again unless I will get the score that I need. Fair enough. Even though I moved to the UK, well, the life in UK is much easier than back home, and everything goes so fast. And I said, I've delayed the preparation. I don't know why, and don't know, so many things happening, and I've delayed for so long. Then I decided definitely to get it done this year because I couldn't delay it even more. So I knew about you since I think 2019. I found you at some point. I've looked to some of your video. They've changed my thinking of IELTS. Everything I know about IELTS was changed. And I said, oh, this guy is telling me so good things, so I need to follow him. At some point during my preparation that time, I had to stop it to do something else. And then this year, I started somewhere in, let's say, beginning of March to prepare. I said, okay, I'm just going to prepare and then book my IELTS exam when I feel I'm ready, and I'm going to do it. Then during the preparation, I said, no, I have to book it now because otherwise I will not be able to.
You broke our only rule.
Okay, so then I booked my exam on 24th of April, and I had, I think, 40 days to prepare. At some point during the journey, I said, oh my God, I'm getting stuck on writing. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I'm getting stuck on writing. I don't know how to write different types of essays on different questions. And I said, no, Chris is not providing all the information online, so I have to do something. And since then, I get full help with everything. And I've studied very hard. I've been a headache for everyone around me. And I say, before going to sit the exam, I say, I'm not going to pass this one because I'm still having problem with my essays. I know what I'm doing wrong, but you know what, I'm running out of time. So I'm going to try it to see where I'm stand. Then I got to the exam day. It was very stressful. I've made it somehow. When I finished the exam, I said, there is a possibility I could pass this exam. Yeah, I've done very well. I've structured my essays very well. I've written everything that I need to know exactly in the way that I've been learning all day. Well, in the middle of the night, at some point, I just woke up and I said, oh, there is something wrong. I'm not going to pass the writing. That's fine. I'm not going to pass it. Because I remember I spelled one word wrong
Don't worry about one word.
twice. I spelled it
uh,
wrong. And I say, okay, it's not going to be considered as a type mistake because it's a second time. And it was so ridiculous because that's a country. I spelled wrong countries, like in countries benefits or something. I say no. If the first time they will say it's a spelling mistake because of the keyboard and stuff, well, I took the computer based one. So if they first time will say that's going to be a spelling mistake because of the keyboard and stuff, then the second one they will definitely say that is a spelling mistake and is an error, and I will lose mark for that. Secondly, I said no, I can't get more than 7 in writing if it's going to be a 7 because I wrote in the essay 340 words. A little bit too much, I say. They might not consider that. And one of my examples, I've considered this too general. So I might lose work for that one. I say, but let's just see.
I think anyone who can wake up in the middle of the night and diagnose all of these problems accurately is probably going to do very, very well,
Yeah.
because the students who really, really struggle are those ones who keep getting a 6, keep getting a 6.5, and have no idea why, and they
Yeah.
get very frustrated. But students like yourself who are hypercritical of
Oh,
themselves
yes.
and can give a lot of criticism for them for their own essays, they normally do very, very well, because as we say, we won't be with you on test day. So
That's true.
a lot of even the VIP students ask things like, can you just give us some essays to memorize and some phrases and things like that.
No, that's not going to work.
And
Not with me.
yeah, what we say is like, we won't be with you on test day, and you need to get used to doing it yourself and looking at your own writing, because on test day you will need to do that yourself. So I think that's the students that we find are most hard on themselves and most critical of themselves normally are the ones that do really, really well. And so I think that's probably why. And then
Yeah.
also going back to your point of, I misspelled countries twice. Um, what I have found with a lot of doing feedback with students in the groups and whatnot in the live classes is that students will often focus on one small spelling error or one small grammatical error, um, and then judge their entire essay based on that one small thing. So the examiners are obviously noticing small grammatical errors, small spelling errors, but they're looking at the big picture
Big picture. Yeah.
more. So they're looking at like, did she understand the question? Did she clearly answer the question? Are her ideas relevant? Has she developed and explained and given examples for her main ideas that all make sense? Is her essay logically organized? Is it clear? Is it easy to understand? It is well linked together? And are the majority of her words spelled correctly? Or is it just a couple of small errors? And are the majority of her sentences error free or not? So I think students watching be too should not be too critical of themselves,
Yeah. No, no, that's fine. But
but also be critical of yourself at the same
yeah.
time, because the more you criticize the better you get at giving yourself feedback. But what I would say to students is that is not going to happen magically. You need to get feedback from a teacher and then understand, okay, this is what the teacher said. And then on test day, you kind of become the teacher yourself by looking at your own work and
Yeah.
and once students get to that stage where they're able to just give themselves feedback without really even thinking about it, we would call it unconscious competence. um that's when they really, really do well.
Yeah, the only trouble is that I said that might be one of the mistakes I remember, but I'm sure that was the only one.
You're very hard on yourself.
I
Yeah,
think that
you're
that
you're
was not
you're
gonna work.
creating problems that don't even exist. Yeah,
And I've
I'm
been
I'm the same type of person. So.
Yeah, but I've been so disappointing because I even had time at the end to check my essay. I checked my essay twice. It's like, how could I have just missed that one? No, that's not going to work. Well, the funny story comes after that when I've got my results. All of them, it were 8.5 less the writing.
Mm-hmm.
The writing was surprise 6.5. And I said, no, no, that's not going to happen. I'm sure I've done at least over 7 band. So I inquired because I was sure that whatever I've been reading in there was okay and it was at least a 7. I've inquired that and I do not regret because they come back to 7. And that's the score that I need. So whoever thinks that they've done okay, they've done at least a 7, just inquire it. But
Yeah.
as long as you're cool, you're fine. That you definitely know that you've done more than 6.5 or more than 7. Just inquire it. You will not regret, and they will even give you the money back. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's
And
a good thing.
I think that's another reason why students need to understand the marking criteria,
Yeah,
because if they do get a lower score than they were expecting, then they can objectively look at that and think, well, no, I definitely did the right things. And,
yeah.
and then that gives you the confidence to get the inquiry on results. So well done for taking that step
Yeah,
and
but even if you're critic as I am, then you will know definitely. No, I've done better than that, so I have to get this done because for half a point, I'm not going to do the exam again. Honestly, no, that's not going to happen.
no. So students or people watching this are probably thinking, well, how, Chris and an hour are saying I need to get to the point where I can look at my own essay and give feedback on my own essay and understand where I am. How does a student get to that point? So how does a student get to, from when you were studying in Romania and not doing very well to doing the test in London and knowing that you got the score that you needed?
Well, first of all, as long as you're not living in a English speaking country mostly, that's a little bit difficult, but it's not impossible. As I used to say, it's nothing difficult, it's just new.
Mm.
So for those who are living outside the English speaking country, I will advise them they must have someone to talk to in English constantly. Either speaking or writing, they will have to talk to someone in English. That's a must. And listen to English every single day. I've been lucky because working in the UK and working with a lot of people, I've managed to settle all my English, my basic English, and learn some more new words, new expressions, the forms that they are put into sentence, like every expression into sentence. So that helped me a lot. But if you're getting this right, so or if you're having a good level of English, then it's easier. You have to stick to one form to making the essay. As you say, I found your way of doing essays very well because they are very well structured. Yeah, we have 3 parts: introduction, main body, paragraph, and conclusion. Yeah, if you know what to write in every single part of them, well, I'm more mathematical because for me everything needs to make sense, otherwise I can't do it. So as I understand what I should write in that essay, that was very simple after that. So you need to have a clear introduction. You need to have clear main body, paragraph, and clear conclusion. That's right. And when you're doing your essay, you have to refer back to whatever you've been written before. That's what I've done. So, well, I've written about this one. Did I write an explanation? Yeah. Did I write an example? Yeah. Okay, I'm fine then. Review whatever you've been writing and go on.
Mm-hmm.
Move forward and at the end. And then if you save at least 5 minutes to reread your essay, that's going to be very helpful.
And
And
focus
and
on making
yeah,
the essay like you said, everything needs to make sense for
Yeah,
you to understand everything, but
yeah,
focus on making it make sense for the reader,
for the
for the
reader.
examiner. And
Yeah.
if you think that way, then the quality of your essays is really going to improve. Um, I'll tell you a funny story. To any pharmacists who are watching this, it will make sense. So my wife recently had a baby, so she couldn't go
Congrats.
anywhere. So I had to go to the pharmacist for her a few times, and I hated it because every time I was in the line, there were people explaining what they needed, and they weren't explaining it clearly. And the pharmacist was like, "Okay, I'm asking lots of questions," and then I went up and I was just like, "These are the symptoms. This is what she's had. This is the medicine bottle that she's had before. This is what we need." And I think that's all pharmacists will probably laugh at that story, because that's, you have customers who don't know what they want. They can't really clearly explain what they want. And then you have customers who are just like, I have this problem and I need this. So I think use that approach for your essays and then your
Yeah,
speech
that's
test.
gonna help.
Just, and that will help. Does that make sense as a pharmacist?
Oh yeah, don't. We can talk about that all day long. No, you are the ideal customer, and the other ones are not, because you're asking them something, and they will tell you everything else, less the thing that you need. I mean,
Yeah. I think a lot of
crazy.
essays look kind of like that, where the person reading it has no idea what the person really is trying to say.
Yeah,
Whereas if you learn how to structure your essay coherently and cohesively and logically, then it makes more sense to them.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well,
So
otherwise, I find it difficult to generate ideas. That was, I think that was my main weak point, generate ideas. Because at some point, what I should talk about, what type of example I should give to be weight enough, what I should say, I don't know. How am I supposed to? Okay, I know one idea, but where comes the second one? I have no clue.
so how did you overcome that problem?
Well, I've done the coffee shop thing.
Yeah.
That was
Can you
useful
explain
because,
that to people watching?
well, if they don't know already what coffee shop thing means, just imagine you and your friends sitting in a coffee shop and discuss different ideas. And if they will ask you friendly, like between friends, what do you think about X problem? What do you think about this situation? And so on, so on. You will definitely have an opinion.
Hmm.
That's the I don't think there is somebody that will be asked something and say, "Oh, I don't have a clue, or
Hmm.
I don't have any opinion." So once you stick to one opinion, that may be your main idea, or that may be the side that you need to take because you have more ideas on that side, thinking about advantages and disadvantages. That's probably the one that you need to support, and based on that thing, okay, then what's the opposite of this thing, what I should not say or not do or not think, and that's going to be your disagreement or the next side of the essay that you need to do. So thinking of that, I just took a piece of paper all the time and write pros and cons or ideas that are advantages or disadvantages, or discuss. Well, the discussion is the easiest one because you just put your point in there and that's it. Or answering the question, to two types of questions, that's also easy because you just put your idea. But advantages and disadvantages I found as well a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Because you need to take one side through the whole essay, not just in one side or one body paragraph, and then develop that. So that's how I did it. So I put 2 or 3 ideas on one piece of paper and then try to think, okay, do I have an explanation on this one? Which one I do have a better explanation? Which one of them I do have a better example, or something fast? And then work with that type of idea generation through a couple of essays, or how many essays do you think is needed, just to make that one instantly. On exam day, I don't think it took me 10 minutes to prepare what I'm going to write in there. I think it took me about 5 minutes maximum, because you need to quickly decide, okay, what I'm going to do. The time does not pause. It goes.
Yeah.
It goes quickly. Okay, so you have to quickly decide, and probably that's one of the advantage I had, because working in a pharmacy, you have to quickly decide what to do.
Yeah.
You don't have half an hour. Okay, should we give it this or should we give it that? No, just judge and do it quickly. And that's a side that helped me.
Yeah, I think the coffee shop method works really well for pharmacists, doctors, lawyers, engineers, very intelligent people, because often when they see like the question on a piece of paper, they start to overcomplicate the question and overcomplicate the ideas.
They
But
already
then,
think.
yeah, because they're used to dealing with complex things in their
Yeah.
university studies, in their careers. But once you say, okay, let's take it out of the IELTS context, imagine you were just having a coffee with a friend and they asked you this question, you would probably give a very simple, straightforward idea pretty much immediately. So if anyone's struggling with that, try that. And then for the like advantages and disadvantages, idea generation, or maybe the discussion one as well, a lot of people find it difficult because they can think of one side, but they can't think of the other side.
Yeah.
So we teach students to deploy a little bit of critical thinking and say, okay, what would someone who is completely different from you think about this? So if you're a man, what would a woman think? If you are a Romanian, what would someone in the UK or the US think? If you
Yeah.
are a pharmacist, what would a doctor have a different opinion on this? Or would maybe someone back in Romania who's not a pharmacist have a different opinion on this? And that really does help people because they stop thinking about what do I believe and what do other people think. And once they start to expand that out, ideas become much, much, much easier, I think.
I also find difficult at the beginning stating something that I'm not completely 100% agreeing, but it would help me to
Yeah.
develop my essay, because most of the people say, oh, but if I say I like cats and the examiner will like dogs, what would they say? Probably they will not agree, probably they will give me a low mark. No, that's definitely, they do not care about your ideas,
Yeah.
about how do you develop your ideas.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you really agree in your real life with that. That's an exam and you have to prove your
Yeah.
ability.
It doesn't matter if I used to have a university professor and he was very, very, very left wing. He was a communist basically. And he said that, and it was a politics type of political class. And he said, you can, if in your essay, your final essay, I completely disagree. And I think that your opinion is completely immoral. You can still get a very, very, very high grade. You can still get an A if you develop your arguments and you argue clearly. It doesn't matter what I think or what I believe about your opinion. It is about how clearly you construct your argument. And luckily for me, he did completely disagree with me, but I did okay in that class. So, but I think that even in the speaking test, some students think, I don't want to say something that the examiner won't agree with. It's like the examiner doesn't care. It's about you know your pronunciation, your
Yeah.
fluency, your grammar, and your vocabulary.
So
Um,
I think that you need to use any means just to get the score that you need. It doesn't matter what you need to use as long as it's correct
yeah,
and structured very well.
and
Just use
pick the
anything.
easy things to write about. You know, don't
Yeah.
pick the idea that you think is impressive. Pick the idea that is easy to write about, and that's normally the simplest idea. And a lot of students are worried about that because they're like, oh, what if the examiner looks at my idea and thinks it's too obvious or too simple? There is no such thing as
Doesn't
an
matter.
idea that is too obvious. If it is extremely obvious, like imagine I went into your pharmacy and I said, I have a headache. And you said, okay, take paracetamol. And I said, no, I want something more exotic. I want something, more, a little bit more, you'd be like,
Yeah.
what? Like, so the
Well,
obvious idea is normally the correct idea. The simplest idea is normally the correct idea. I'm running out of time a little bit because my
that's
little
okay.
boy has a toothache today, and I need to
Oh,
bring him to he's got a bad abscess on it. So we're
oh,
running out of. We still have about 5 minutes left though.
okay.
If you were to give one piece of advice to a similar student, so maybe another pharmacist in Romania who has the same problem, or is living in the UK as a dispenser, and they want to get a 7 overall, what advice would you give them?
Keep it simple.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that.
Yeah, keep it simple. It took me a while to understand what does it mean, keep it simple, but it's just simple ideas with the words that you 100% know, because I've tried the other part previously and it didn't work, using words that I do not fully understand, and I've tried to use them because they were fancy or they were high level words, but I didn't understand them 100%, so I used them before and I didn't get the score that I need. So I said, let me just do an essay with the things that I really know, and let's see how it goes. And it went well.
Excellent. Yeah, I think a lot of students are afraid to keep it simple. But one thing that I've noticed with all of our success stories is that they all say that, but a lot of them also say, like, it wasn't until I figured out what that
simple
meant,
means.
what simple actually is. Once I did, then I was able to get the scores that I needed. So, Ara, I wish you the best of luck in your
Thank you so much.
in your future life in the UK. And I'm glad that you're getting paid what you deserve as a pharmacist instead of a dispenser. And if you need any advice on life in the UK in the future, or anything like that, just get in touch. All right.
Thank you so much. Good luck in everything, and I hope you'll have thousands of success stories in the future.
I hope we do too. All right. Thank you very much, Ara.
Bye.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.